So welcome back to a new video, starting with Angular 18 series is going on. Related to that only, I'm going to take Angular 18 login and registration or sign up, but with local storage. Because most of the time when companies are asking you guys implement any machine task, so some of the companies will provide you the API, but some won't, right? So they will ask you to do the login and registration part with local storage or with JSON file. So in next video, I will be covering just with JSON file. But in this video, we are going to see how we can do the login and the sign up process with local storage. So let's start. Before start, if you are new, I have provided the link of my LinkedIn profile. You can connect with me. And one more link will be there for the group I have created. So you can just join to that also. Okay. Now, what I have done is I have created an Angular project. The name, like how you create the Angular project is by you can just open a particular folder, and on that particular folder, you can just run this particular command ng new and the project name, whatever the name. After creating the project, I have installed the Bootstrap. And once you install the Bootstrap in angular.json, in style section, you need to add this file so that you can use the Bootstrap. Now, so this is the initial thing what I have done. Now in app folder, what I will do, I will create the here in the pages folder, I will create new component. So right click on the page, you will open a new terminal, ng generate component login. This is the first component I'm going to use. Then second component I will be using is layout. I will explain the purpose of layout component. We are going to use the layout component just to put the navbar. Then we will need one component that will be dashboard. So after the login, we will navigate to the dashboard. So all three components are created. After component creation, next thing we have to create the routes. So in app route.ts, previously it was a module file, but now it's just a constant file. So empty array is already created. So first path colon, sorry, path colon empty, then redirect to. First path I'm creating, which is like to what we can say default route. Then path must with full. So this is my default route. So we are going to create multiple route. Out of that, this is my default route. So in URL, if we don't have anything, it is going to redirect to login. Now we have to create the login route. So path, login, then component, login component. Then we are going to create one more route that will be again with path empty, and component will be for this will be layout. So if user is not logged in, app component will be its parent component. But if user logged in, after that, we will redirect it to the dashboard. But for dashboard, parent component will be layout. So that's why in the layout route, we will have children. And in this children, we will create all the component route, which are going to be used after the login. So dashboard, comma, component will be dashboard. So whatever the routes you are going to display after the login, those all routes will be children of this layout component. So this is your login should be there. Let's close it. Let's say you need one more page which you want to allow user to access without login. Means you don't need to show the navbar and everything. So you can have a route created at the parent level only. But all the components which are going to be visible after the login, those will be created over here as a children of layout. So let's close this. Now, first thing we need the login, right? So over here, I have just simply searched the Bootstrap login. So this is the Bootstrap MD Bootstrap site. Here, so many login pages are there. So we are going to use this. So you can see code is already there. So you just have to click on over here, copy it, and we have to put the HTML over here. So let's save. Let's check if login page is visible. So you can see login page is visible, but we are getting this also. This is like coming once you create the basic project. Now we get it something like that. So here you just need to remove everything whatever we get and just put the router outlet. So now you can see login page is visible. Now Now we are going to store the data into local storage. Okay. So it's up to us like what object we can create. Now in login component, I will create the login object. So let's say user obj colon any equal to curly bracket. Let's say username colon empty, password colon empty. What else we can get? Well, let's just store username and user ID. So what I have done, I have created an object. Now this object I need to bind to my login form also using template form. So if you have to create the template form, you need to add forms module. So forms module added over here. Now this object, I will use it. Sorry, we need to create the login and the registration also. So what I will do, here we have a form of login. So just like that, I will just copy paste. Here I will create one variable is login view colon boolean. In the same component, we are going to have login and the sign up process false. And this variable will decide, do we need to show the login form or the registration form? So we are going to use at the rate control flow statement at the rate if. If this variable is true, we will show the login form, means this form. And then we will have at the rate else. And in else, we will have the below form. Here we will put our sign up form. So this is a user object. Let's add user registration and username. We will have email ID also. Okay. So in registration field, we are going to have three fields: username, password, and the email ID. So let's just email address is already there. And this will be username. So we are considering like username is something else and user email ID just to take the data. This will be register. And in login, we will just have a username instead of email address. We will have username. So let's just save and check. So you can see currently register is visible. That's because this variable is false. If I make this variable true, we will be able to see the login page. See, login page is visible. Now we just need to have a click event where we should toggle, we should be able to toggle. So this is the variable which decide that we have to show the login or the registration. So here you can see register here is there. So on click of it, we just need to make this variable to false. And again, from register page, we should be able to go to the login page. So here we will make it true over here and it will be login over here. So let's check this register we don't have. So let's remove it. So let's check it. So now if you click, we are in the login page. If I click on the register, we are in the register. If we click on login, again, login page is visible. Correct? But one thing is there, like this href is there now, it's making page reload. So let's remove that. Let's save and let's test it one more time. Register, login. Correct? Now first part, like we will complete the registration part. So registration object we have created. Now this object we need to bind to our register form. So here round square bracket, round bracket, ng model equal to double quotes object dot. This is for email. So we need to bind email property over here. Let's just copy paste over here, over here. Then we have to bind password. P. Let's paste. And we need the username also. Username copied, username paste. So let's save and check if we are able to see properly or do we have any error. One error will be there. So I will just showcase you. If we click on register, so now you can see we are getting this error. If ng model is within a form tag, we need to provide the name attribute. So if your elements are inside the form tag and if you are using ng model, so we need to pass name attribute. So let's pass that email ID. Whatever the field name you have that you can pass it over here. Okay. Now on click of what is this? Instead of login, we should have register. So on click of this register button, we have to store the data into local storage and multiple user can register. So we have to create an array of users and that we will store into the local storage. So let's write a click event on register. Let's create this function. Now, so local storage is little bit tricky. That's why every company will ask you to do the CRUD operation with local storage because you need to showcase your skill, coding skill, right? So first we need to check if we already have data in the local storage or not. So constant is local data, local storage dot. I need to read the local storage data. So 18 local. This will be my key name. So here, if local storage data is already there, we will get it. Otherwise, it will be null. So not null, check I'm adding. If it is not null, means in local storage already data is there. Okay. So if data is there, we need to convert it to, while storing the data, we are going to store into string format. Okay. So that's why I'm going to convert it string format data. I'm going to convert it into the array format. So local array is equal to JSON dot parse method. And we will pass the local data over here. So whatever the data we have stored in the local storage, that will be in the string format. Again, we have to convert it back to the array format. So that's why I'm writing this line. Okay. Let's first write the first statement because currently we don't have any data, right? Now, so what we need to do, we have to create an array in else block, considering if we don't have any local storage data. So constant array is equal to empty array I'm creating. Then in this array, I will be pushing my this object. So local array dot push. What I need to push? This current object. So this dot user registration object, and then I will store the local storage data. Local storage dot set item. To store the data, we have to make use of the set item method, and this is the key we are going to use. Double quotes. And what we need to pass? This array. But this is an array, but we can local storage only allows string type of data. So we need to convert this to string format. So JSON dot stringify method. So this will convert our array into string. And here we need to pass. So this is like first time. But next time in local storage, we already have the data. Next time, again, if we try to register the user, if block will execute. So now here, local array, we have already got it over here. So this two line, again, we have to copy paste over here. Okay. So same code will work. So what we are doing from local storage, we are reading the data, we will store it over here. And again, whatever the existing records are there, we are pushing new record to over here. So let's just test it properly. Now debugging, once we debug now, you will understand properly what I was explaining. So register over here. Now in the application, local storage, let me just clear it. So currently we don't have any data in the local storage. Right? So local storage is empty. Now let's say user1@gmail.com. Let's say user1 will be my username, password 112233. Okay. Now on click of register, our function will trigger. So now here you can check what we are doing. First, we are trying to read the local storage data. We don't have any local storage data with this key name, so it is null. So if it is null, it will go to the else block. So in else block, we have created empty array. In that empty array, we are pushing this object. See, whatever the data you fill, that is available in the object. So this we are pushing to the empty array. Now this empty array we are storing to the local storage. So now if we go to the application, now you can see here we have the empty array. Now even if we refresh, still this data is available. That is the purpose of local storage. Now let's try to register one more record. user2@gmail.com. Username will be user2, password 334455. Let's click on register. Now, if you see in this local data, we have got the data. It is not equal to null. So if block will execute. Now here you can see all the data we have got in the string format because while storing, we have stored into the string format. So we need to convert that string data into array format. So here you can see we have got the array. This is the existing record. Now F10. So now you can see we have got one more record. Now this updated array we are passing, we are storing into the local storage. Continue. So here you can see in the local storage, we have got two records, correct? So this is simply registration process. And once we do the registration process, we can just show alert. After this if else, we will show alert registration success. Just a nominal message we are showing, right? Let's do one more time. On click of register user3@gmail.com user3, let's say 556670. I'm not going to take the login and sorry, validation part. Already videos are there, so you can follow that. Video is only focused for the registration and the login, so we will focus to that. So registration part is done. Now next thing we have to do the login. So let's create the login object. We can use this also, but let's create one more. Login :any is equal to what we need, just the username and the password. So let's add these two field. Now this object we need to bind to the login. So this is our login form. So here again we need to bind ng model. So let me just copy. Let's paste it over here. Let's paste it over here. What we need to bind? User login object. Make sure if you are copy pasting, do the properly copy pasting also. Password will go over here and username will go over there. Again, form is inside the form tag. So we have to add name attribute. Otherwise we will get that error. And the password. Now on click of login, we have to write some specific code because we don't have API. Array is in the local storage. We need to check like whatever the user has provided the detail that match to our record or not on login. So let's write that code. Let's create this function. Okay. So on login, what we need to do? First, we need to read the local storage data. So this is the same line which will read the local storage data. So again, if we will add the null check also, because whenever you are reading the local storage data, now make sure you add a null check also before doing some operation with that. Now here constant. Again, we need to convert users equal to JSON dot parse method. We have to use what we need to pass local data. So whatever the users we have created, that we will get it over here. Now we have to use constant is user found is equal to find if whatever the user detail have mentioned, like username and password user has entered, those are present in the user array or not. So we have to make use of the find method. Find m is equal to m dot with what we need to compare username. So username equal to with what we are going to compare with login objects. So user login dot username. Why it is giving error? Okay, it is asking for that data type any. Let's add it :any. And two condition we have to check. First, like username is there on password because we need to match both, correct? So m dot password is equal to this double equal to this dot login or user login dot password, like this. Okay. So if in my array we have the particular detail, we will get it. Otherwise, it will be undefined. So in case of find from the array, if we whatever the condition you pass, if that matches, we will get the record. Otherwise, it will be undefined. So we have to add an undefined check. If user is not equal to undefined, then we will know like user is there. So once we find the user, we have to navigate back to registration, let's say dashboard page, correct? So to navigate back to dashboard page, we have to create router is equal to inject router. So this is the new thing. This is called as a dependency injection. Whatever we used to do in constructor, that same thing we can do it by using inject method. Now, so once user is successfully logged in, we have to navigate in to the dashboard page. Router dot navigate by URL, and we need to pass where we have to navigate to the dashboard page. So this dashboard page, we have to pass it over here. And if else block, if user is not found, means user has entered incorrect credential. So we will show that in the alert statement. Name or password is wrong. Let's add a debugger and let's test this also. And an else to this also. Means if we don't get the user detail, means no user present. So in alert, we will show no user found, because this is like no user is there. So let's save and check. And one more thing, in layout page, we need to add a navbar. So let's complete that also. So in this layout, we will just add a normal bootstrap navbar. So let's just get that code. Bootstrap tutorial, navbar. Let's get this dark one. Inspect, edit as an element. Sorry. Copy. And over here, we will have navbar, because once user login, this will be parent component. So here we will have all the navigation and everything. And we will need router outlet. So again, before using router outlet, we need to import it also. So here, router outlet, then it will suggest. So now, so whatever the activated route is there, that component will loaded over here. So let's check and save if everything is working fine. So we have created several user with user one. What was the password? Let's see it again in the local storage. So for user one, password was 112233. First, let's try with wrong password. On click of login. So here it will goes, we get the data, we convert it. And here you can see in users, we have got 3 array. Now it is checking like if particular user is there. So you can see undefined, because we don't have any user where username is this and whatever the password we have added. Password we have added the wrong, right? So it will go to the else block and it will show wrong username or password. Now let's add the correct password, 112233. On click of login. So now you can see here we have got the user. So it is not undefined. So it will go over here and it will redirect to the dashboard. So see, it has navigated to the dashboard, and here you can see dashboard and the navigation. So this is how we do the login and the registration part with local storage. Again, like if you want to extend here, you can have a log off button, and on log off, we can clear the local storage data. So on click of it, you can have a local, you can, here you, instead of search, you can have a log off. On click of it, you can just clear the local storage data. And again, you can redirect back to the login page. So your whole functionality will be completed. So that's it. If you are new, please do like and subscribe.